Hi and welcome to my soul tribe. My name is Miriam Rose. This channel is dedicated to spirituality, makeup, as well as commentary. I upload 2 to 3 times per week, so please like, subscribe, ring the bell down below so you're notified of all of my latest videos, and comment and share my videos. It really helps me if you comment down below and share. And also please subscribe to my Instagram for all the regular updates. Today I was going to do a video on the pendulum and how to check you and balance out your chakras. This is not going to be an easy video today because something has been lying heavily on my mind and I want to share it with you. Right from the beginning, I decided that I'm going to be very transparent with my viewers because it's really important to allow the viewer to know you personally and not just as a healer or as a commentary channel or as a makeup channel, which in my case is a combination of all three. Today I just want to talk to you. Something has happened to me over the weekend. I decided to just sit down and have a conversation, have an open, honest conversation. It's not easy. It's not an easy video for me to make, and it's making me sad making this video. But I feel that it needs to come out because my feelings have been truly hurt, and this is just sharing a part of my life with you. If you ever watch mukbangs and you watch Nikocado Avocado, he often says, what we show you is what we want you to see. It's just a small window of information. So I do want to be completely transparent with my audience and with my subscribers. So let's just begin. It's hard to begin this video, but let's begin at the beginning. I've been in the healing, psychic, spirituality lifestyle. It's not, to me, it's not a business. It's a lifestyle. And I've been living this lifestyle since I was a little girl. It started from when I was about 9 years old. I began questioning, why am I here? I began remembering my past lives. I began questioning the value of God. And by the age of 15, I began learning astrology. I became very interested in astrology, and as time evolved, even though I have done a lot of how shall I say it, a lot of normal education, mainstream education, I've studied a lot in my life, I have always fallen back to spirituality because it's my home, it's my heart, it's where I belong, and now I feel very comfortable just living my life as a healer, as a spiritualist, and as a teacher of healing methods. And also, I was a born psychic. I'm very intuitive, and it's a talent that God has given me. It's not, yes, I have developed it over the years. I have done a lot of intuitive circles and classes and workshops, but I don't want to boast or anything. I have a very developed psychic ability. And I, like some people can't relate and some people can. I am a medium, and when a spirit from the other side finds a channel, and I consider myself to be a channel. That's all. I become an empty vessel. I empty myself out, and I just become a channel, and I feel, sense, hear, see stories from the other side, which I tell onto the client. I don't really practice psychic readings and mediumship readings anymore. I'm focusing more on my healing methods, and I've got a great deal of them which I have already studied. I've got a great deal of different modalities in my toolbox, which I do use on my clients depending on their needs. I'm also a qualified hypnotherapist and a holistic counselor. I have a diploma in counseling. But anyway, I'm not here to boast about my qualifications. Anyone who's had a healing session with me knows that I'm very professional and very knowledgeable at what I do due to experience, years, built up years of experience, over 30 years of built up experience. And a lot of healers do learn one or two modalities and they stick to them, and that's all they do. I tend to like to learn something new every day. So I very often, even though it's not really necessary for me anymore, I very often join workshops and learn even more new modalities just to incorporate them into my practice. And because I enjoy it, I enjoy going to workshops and being amongst like-minded people. I love it. They're so different to the people that I interact with on a day-to-day basis. I have so much more in common with people who are like-minded, like me. We share the, you would hope that we share the same interests. That was a really long introduction. Now let me get into the story. Let me have a sip of my coffee, my morning coffee. Over the past weekend, last weekend, I attended a workshop on kinesiology. It was very far away. I had to drive an hour each way to get there. And I thought, I've heard a lot of kinesiology. Let's see what it's all about, I knew it was about muscle testing, but I wanted to know more. And I also do muscle testing with theta, not theater, theta, alpha, beta, theta healing. I'm a theta healer, so I'm very familiar with listening to the story of the client and healing by muscle testing. I attended this workshop with a teacher whom I am familiar with. I have known her from learning medical intuition with her previously. The workshop was fine. I didn't find anything wrong with the workshop. The previous one, the medical intuitive, she's got this very long name, but it's basically medical intuition, medical intuitive vibrational communication or something like that. Basically it's a medical intuition course, and I enjoy it? Yes, it was nice. And did I learn a lot from it? No. Did I learn something from it? Yes, I did. I do incorporate it into my practice today, and I find medical intuition quite fascinating. So I know the teacher. We've built rapport, you would have thought. And I have even attended one of her gatherings. She had a barbecue one day where I met, and now I don't want any hate being sent to this teacher, so I'm not going to use her name. And I'll just use the first letters of the people that I'm going to talk about. So at that barbecue, I met a marketing person. Let's call her B. B had a very sad story. She's a lovely lady, and she had a beautiful boy, about 10 years old, who had passed away very suddenly. And right off the bat, because he found a channel, and the ones who have crossed over, I don't want to call them the dead. We're not dead. We don't die. Our soul is eternal, and it lives forever after. I truly believe in reincarnation, and I have evidence from just the mere fact that the spirit world, from the fourth dimension where crossed over souls reside, unless they escalate to further dimensions, when they find a channel like me, they want to send messages to their loved ones. So right off the bat, when I began talking to B, I began receiving messages which were very relevant to her from her son, and they comforted her. So we built rapport with her as well. And I actually did want to contact her further down the track to discuss some marketing strategies for my business with her. But she's a friend with the teacher that I attended the class, the workshop over the weekend with, so it wouldn't be appropriate at this point contacting her. I will have to discuss my marketing options with another marketer. Now, getting back to the story, I'm trying to get out from my heart and my soul my feelings of pain and hurt, and all I'm doing is going around and around in circles. It was a 2-day weekend workshop. So I attended the workshop. The first day was tedious. It was boring. Many people complained about the workshop. I wasn't the only one who didn't enjoy it. The teacher seemed very rushed, very unprepared. The workshop was very left brain, and being a creative, artistic, intuitive healer, although I use both sides of my brain, I lean more towards my creative side, my right brain. So it was tedious. The workshop was tedious, and I wondered whether I wanted to attend the second day, but I thought, I had already paid for it, and it wasn't cheap. And I will attend the second day and just make the best of it. And when I spoke to a few other people, they felt exactly the same way. So I happened to have sat down right next to B. As soon as I sat down next to her, her son came through. And although I was there for the workshop, I became a channel, because I'm here to serve people. I'm here to be of service to humanity. This is my mission in life, being a humble healer. And messages became coming through from her son, and she felt wonderful. It made her feel comforted. And then I also, I spent some time during lunchtime talking to her, and I gave her a pendulum, because I said to her, you can test for your chakras with a pendulum, and just to get them moving again, because I sense and I feel that your solar plexus is very blocked. it's and the blockages are there because she's unable to express all of her pain and all of her emotions. So she's unable to digest life properly. And the solar plexus is all about digesting life. And it's all about your emotions. It's your stomach is your second brain. The teacher, M, was watching everybody because, I mean, there were only like 5 or 6 students in the course, all of them being either her clients, 1 or 2 of her clients, and the rest were her friends or students from the medical intuition course, from the previous course. So she was watching attentively. And, you know, and why was she watching me so attentively? Is because she knows that I have over 30 years of experience. And you know, don't think that just because a spiritual teacher is a teacher or a healer, they're fluffy bunnies. It's not like that in our industry. Our industry is not made up of all nice people. As in any other industry, there are people who are quite, how can I say, they have big egos. They have overgrown egos because they feel like, you know, people are listening to them, and they have become a somebody. They're teaching, and now they've got this grandiose ego, and they're watching, and they want to know because they're in competition with you. And, you know, why are you spending all this time with B and all of that? In no way whatsoever did I have any intentions at all of wanting to steal or take away her M's, the teacher's client or friend. In no way. I even told B that, you know, you do need your solar plexus balanced, and go and see M for a healing, as well as use a pendulum and just have your solar plexus balanced out so you feel better. And then you know, M is very possessive, and, you know, of her clients, and it's all a bit of a show with her. It's like having a photographer there, taking pictures, having making up live testimonials, recordings of whom? Recordings, my workshop is wonderful. Whom were the testimonials from? Her husband and her best friend. And then people watch these testimonials and they go, oh wow, this is sounding really fantastic. Don't think, you know, question everything. If you are a spiritualist, if you are a healer, if you want to be a healer, ask questions. Sense whether the teacher is authentic, whether the teacher is connected to spirit, because there's such a great disconnection by M from spirit. She's not intuitive. She teaches intuition. She's not intuitive. You know, she meditates every morning for an hour, but she doesn't have the gift, you know, and that therefore she can't be fully connected to source. And if you're not fully connected to source, you're not teaching from your heart, from your unconditional heart. And once you've done this for a couple of years, it can very well happen that your ego starts growing, and you don't want to hear negative or feedback which doesn't flatter your ego. You just want to hear how wonderful and fantastic you are. And it's not always the case. In this particular case, the workshop was awful. In all of my years that I've been attending workshops, and imagine over 30 years of workshops, it was one of the poorer ones I have attended, unfortunately. So now M has watched me converse to B for quite some time, and she's feeling threatened. So during a session, she singled me out. She was rude and aggressive towards me. This is what's on my mind. I've been talking for 20 minutes, not getting to the point, going around it in a circle. So what happens is, in a group setting, in front of all these people, a cameraman, all these students who don't know any different, she singles me out. Because now she's threatened. She thinks that I want to take B away from her and turn her into my client, which is nonsense. I would never do that. You know, you have your clients, I have mine, thank you very much. It's not... For me, integrity plays a huge part in my work ethic. And part of integrity is not stealing clients. I mean, there are plenty of clients to go around for everybody. And we're here to share and care and to love unconditionally. We're not here to steal each other's clients. So she singled me out. She was very rude to me. She was very aggressive towards me. She spoke to me in a very aggressive fashion, in a very dictatorial fashion. And she basically just... It felt like I was in primary school being bullied by another child. It really hurt my feelings because I thought we built a rapport. And I never saw that side of M before, because before she seemed quite genuine and authentic, not really authentic. You could see that, you know, she's acting a little bit, but then, you know, and that's okay. She seemed nice. So I left the workshop early because it was pointless, it was useless, it was a bit... She was teaching us about ingesting, putting in your mouth diseased energy and storing it there while you're muscle testing. And you know, I have too much experience to know that we do not ingest other people's energies. You know, we have enough of our own energies. So the following day or the following few days, I get tagged on my Facebook page with a picture of the group and a caption of, what a wonderful weekend we had. Wasn't this just the best thing that ever happened to you in your entire life? I mean, I'm her initially. Aren't I just the best thing that ever happened to humanity? And, you know, my feelings were really hurt because she embarrassed me and insulted me and questioned my professional integrity, which is impeccable, mind you, in front of a group of people. So I put down that I put down in a comment, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I felt insulted and I felt humiliated, and I did not enjoy the workshop. And I wasn't the only one who didn't enjoy the workshop. It wasn't interesting. The way it was presented wasn't interesting. And many people commented to me the same thing. But, you know, M needed an ego boost. And I also said that I have enough experience by now knowing that ingesting other people's diseased energies, or any other energies by that matter, is not is not what our practice is all about. And I also, I did question her during the workshop. Well, do you not start the session by protecting yourself? Do you not finish the section by completing and shaking off and getting rid of the energy of the previous client before you see the new client, and etc.? And that too didn't sit well with her, because she didn't know what I was talking about. Basic elementary steps that every healer must take in order to protect themselves and their clients. Anyway, that's for another day. So she sends me this email saying, I'm absolutely disappointed with the way you spoke to me, and that you didn't enjoy the workshop, and how could you talk like that on my personal page, Facebook page. And I answered her and I said, you insulted me. You owed me an apology. You insulted me for no apparent reason on a public forum in a group situation. So I gave you my honest feedback on a public forum, on a social media site like Facebook. I just responded to you by saying my honest feelings, how I felt. You hurt my feelings. You insulted me. Had you had any integrity, you would be apologizing to you. Instead, you're telling me your feelings have been hurt because I didn't enjoy your workshop, which I, mind you, paid over $650 for, or something, for the pleasure of getting insulted, berated and humiliated in front of an entire group. And mind you, somebody else in private during the workshop said, I am sensing that Am is being very aggressive towards you. So it wasn't my imagination. People could also feel what was going on, and he was saying, like, I'm sensing this animosity towards you from her. I just don't understand why. You haven't done anything wrong. So I said to her in the email that, and she got so upset, and she unbefriended me, on my Facebook group, and she deleted me, and she did, because I spoke the truth, because I said that I did not enjoy being humiliated and insulted in public. Had she been a mature, and she's the same age as me, mind you, had she been a mature woman of integrity on a social platform, she would have said to me, you know what, Miriam? I thought about it, and I was quite rude to you in public. I should have pulled you aside had I had anything to tell you, any of my concerns, and I should have discussed them with you in private. And I'm sorry that I offended and insulted you in a group setting. But no, she didn't do that. She's immature. Her ego is overgrown. No, she is the one upset. She is upset. I hurt her feelings. Her feelings were hurt because I spoke my truth. And how could I, in front of all these people, because she just must have an impeccable reputation and everybody must love her? Well, life isn't like that. Not everybody loves you, and not everybody loves your courses. And mind you, time was taken away from me. An entire weekend was wasted because I am in the process of writing my own absolute healing therapy online course modality, which I will be turning into a lengthy workshop next year. So, a lot of precious time was wasted for me because I didn't learn anything and I was just berated. So if that wasn't enough, you would think that would be enough. Oh, by the way, if you would like to join my Face group, this is a shameless plug. If you would like to join, become part of my soul tribe on Facebook, my group is called Awaken Your Spirit for Personal Growth. So you can join me there as well, and for all the latest updates, because I share a lot on in my group. Awaken Your Spirit for Personal Growth. Anyway, going back to the story, and this is much longer than I anticipated. So I go about my way. It was the first time I wanted to do spirit guide drawings for quite some time, but because of Rona, we had been in lockdown for the entire year, so I've actually waited to get back to what I love, being creative. And I had my first session on Wednesday, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You can go to my Facebook page or my Instagram page to see I think he's precious, my American Indian spirit guide. He's precious because he's the first drawing that I've done in the past 20 years. Anyway, so I come back home being so excited with my creation of my spirit guide drawing that I want to upload it onto Facebook, onto my Facebook group. Guess what? I can't get into my own personal group. Never mind. And then I start checking all my other groups on my list. I can't get onto any group. M's virtual assistant used to do work for me about a year and a half ago. She is the only one who has my password to Facebook. Talk about being petty, and talk about being vengeful. So M got the virtual assistant, which I used a year and a half ago, who is the only one apart from me who has access to my Facebook password. She got the virtual assistant into my Facebook, into my groups, and changed all the settings, preventing me from having any access to any of my other groups where I share my posts. So I sent M an email saying that this is unacceptable, that I know exactly who has gotten into my Facebook group, into my Facebook page, and who has changed my settings, because the virtual assistant, whom she still uses till now, and I don't, is the only one who has my password, the only other person from me. And this happened, the access to all my groups, including my personal group, has ceased for me the very same day that I had spoken my truth to M on Facebook. Coincidence? No, there are no coincidences. And I wrote her an email, and I said to her that hacking is a criminal offense, and I will be going to the police, and I will be making a report for hacking, because that's absolutely outrageous and unacceptable. And what you're doing is making me lose income, and I will be if it comes to it, you will be paying for my loss of income. Guess what happened? Within 20 minutes of me sending her that email, miraculously, I log into Facebook. I have access to all my Facebook groups. I have access to my own Facebook group. Everything has been restored. Not a single reply from M. Talk about being vindictive. Talk about having an overgrown ego. Talk about not being able to accept the truth, to hear the truth that no, you're not always great. And you are a human being, and I am not always the best. And nobody is. Sometimes we all make mistakes. Sometimes we are rushed. And she was rushing the course to get it out there. And it was evident. And we are sometimes in a rush. And we don't always perform to our greatest that we can be. And it's okay to be human. But no, everybody has to love M, everybody has to praise M, because M needs her ego stroked. So spirituality is not always about fluffy, lovey-dovey, huggy, kissy, unconditional love. When I work in my practice, I always approach my clients from a place of unconditional love. When I begin to teach for next year, I will approach my students from a place of unconditional love. I am connected to the source. I'm connected to spirit. Unfortunately, not everybody is. And, she was caught on a bad day. In all honesty, she shouldn't have been teaching on that day, on that weekend, because she wasn't performing at her best, and it was evident, and she took it out on me. And then when she didn't like my response, she hacked into my Facebook. Is that normal? Is that a normal thing to do for especially for a spiritual teacher? No, I don't think so. Anyway, I really had to get this off my chest. I hope I didn't bore you. So, drama doesn't only happen in celebrity circles and in YouTube influencer circles. Drama can also happen in spiritual circles. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be in competition with each other. That's not what we're all about. But some have overinflated egos, and this is where the trouble begins. And I said to her, your ego has become too big, and you need to go back to the drawing board and remember why you began teaching in the first place. Wasn't it because you wanted to improve and better humanity? Isn't that what we're here for? We're here to be of service to humanity. That's why we've been born different, a little different to everybody else. So now she's going to go around telling everyone how hurt she is by Miriam, and how could Miriam ever say such things, instead of just owning up and apologizing to me for berating me and for putting me down in front of a group of people. All she had to do was apologize and move on. But that would have meant that she would have had to accept that she wasn't perfect, and M must always be perfect. Perfection, my dear, doesn't exist. Anyway, I have bored you enough with my story. I just had to get it off my chest. It is what it is. I've lived before M for a long time, and I will continue to live after M for a very long time. And just a very last thing I wanted to tell you. We just had a full moon in Gemini with a partial eclipse. So with the eclipse, what happens, first of all, full moon in Gemini means communication and lots of it, and can have lots of miscommunication. But the eclipse means that whatever or whoever no longer serves your purpose will drop away from your life. And this is exactly what happened. She no longer serves my purpose for my journey moving forward, and she dropped out of my life. Thank you very much for listening to such a long story. I didn't mean for it to be this long. Cosmic kisses to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From my heart to your heart. Cosmic kisses. Bye for now.